Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I have a fun coffee card to share with you today. Hey everybody, so I am using Jaded Blossom's banner dies, along with their Sunburst Card matte die, their fancy heart dies, my favorite, the coffee word dies, the basic word dies, our coffee dies, our glasses dies. And I am pulling out a couple stamps, but I'll tell you about those later. So you'll see that I pre-made these backgrounds. I made those in an earlier video, cut everything out using my Gemini machine, put them together, and I'm just going to be using the leftover ones on a card today. So I cut out a piece of paper tray ink dark chocolate cardstock, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, using my Martha Stewart scoreboard and a Teflon bone folder. That's going to be for my background. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I always use my Gemini machine for all my die cutting. There we go. So the nice thing about that Sunburst Card matte die is you can cut it out a gazillion times and make as many backgrounds as you'd like, because it depends. Do you want to repeat? You could repeat the background, like repeat the little sun rays in different colors. This time I used 5 of each to make up the 15. So that would be 3 backgrounds, right? If you cut it out in 3 types of paper. I cut it out of 4, but I just used the sunburst part in that teal. That's from Doodlebug's Sea Glass cardstock. So the background paper, the patterns, are from Honeybee's Fresh Brewed 6-inch pad. Then that sea glass color is from Doodlebug's cardstock, and then the dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray ink I also use. Now this is a cheapo piece of Nina Solar White 65-pound paper that I cut at 4.25 or 4 by 5.25, and I'm just attaching it to the inside of my card with some tape runner here. I'm not even sure what the brand of this one is. Trying to use up all these generic little runners I have all over my room. And that's 1.5 inches of that plaid paper from the Fresh Brewed from Honeybee Stamps. I'm just applying that to the bottom because there were some marks on that piece of white paper, but we don't want to get rid of it, right? Now I cut out the little coffee cup out of American Crafts textured cardstock in kind of a light brown, and then I cut out the coffee in that dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray ink, and I'm just applying those together using art glitter glue and my EK Success tweezers. And now I have the glasses cut out using the glasses dies, my favorite from Jaded Blossom, my favorite. And I'm just going to layer these. I'm going to do 2 of these ones in the black Paper Tray ink black cardstock. And I love these glasses. They are my favorite. And I'm just going to weight those down. Just make sure everything sticks down flat. Now I went ahead and I pre-assembled all of these little words. Now the U is from Jaded Blossom's basic word dies. And then all the coffee words, that's from the coffee word dies. And those were all cut out of the dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray ink and cut cardstock's CTI Glamma translucent paper. And I put those all together. I believe I did that with the releases. So I had those all in my little pocket ready to go. Now I'm pulling out Doodlebug's. These are my favorite shape sprinkles. They're called ICU, and I love the plain little black ones for little eyeballs. So I'm using a little pen blade to get them off my paper. And how cute are those? I have a bunch of those. Like I wish Doodlebug would just come out with one that's all the little tiny black eyeballs. And I would just, I would buy as many as I could afford and sort of stock up on them. Anyways, I'm using Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And I'm just using the leftover frames of those, and I'm cutting them up using my, cutting them up with my EK Success scissors. And I'm applying them to the back of this coffee mug. This was such a simple card, especially because I had the little backgrounds already made. Sometimes when when you don't have any crafting mojo going on, you can just make some backgrounds and just stick them off to the side, and you can use them to make, card designs later. And it's so much fun just to pull those out. I actually have 1 more of those card backgrounds to use, I believe. So, or 2 more. Yes, 2 more. And then how that'll be fun, eh? And then I can make a couple more cards with these backgrounds. So I went ahead and I cut out that fancy heart dies with that American Crafts light brown cardstock. And I save all of those and I put them in the pocket so I can use them later. Now I am applying my little sentiment that I created onto the front of my card, just flat. And like I said, I save all those little hearts in that fancy heart die. So every time I use that for little hearts on a card, I save them all in the pocket. And you know, a lot of times I'll pull them out and use those ones. I don't have to cut them out again, but depending on, you know, what goes with my card. This time I wanted that same light brown color. I'm going kind of for a monochromatic look, other than the teal, of course, but you know, a monochromatic kind of look. And that's why I pulled out that brown again. I also used the largest heart that I used on this background was from the banner dies. And that's actually the smaller banner die or the smaller heart from the banner dies. And I use those hearts all the time to, you know, kind of, you know, decorate my cards. There we are. So now I'm just sticking these all on my background. So this is going to say, "You perk me up," which is kind of fun. So the U is from the basic words, and then all the other words are obviously from the coffee word dies. I'm trying to decide where these are going to go. And there we are. Put that off to the side. How cute is that? I love making inanimate objects, like adding glasses to inanimate objects and giving them little eyes and making them little people. I don't know what it is. A little coffee cup people. Okay. So anyway, adding these little hearts on just as some, you know, a little bit more embellishment to this card, because it's not super like in your face, you know, super or anything. It's you know, I find it just a nice looking card. So I'm just going to add a few more of the hearts. Like I said, I add 3 visual triangle, all that jazz, just to make it look a little bit more interesting, add a little more texture. Dimension is kind of my favorite thing to add to cards. It just, you know, it gives it a little bit more movement. Now I'm pulling out the birthday coffee art stamp set, and I'm just going to use the sentiment. Let me look. I can't even remember what it's called, what it was. Oh yeah, Java Great Birthday, which is just kind of fun, right? And I used VersaFine Claire pine cone ink actually this time to stamp that. And I just freehand stamped it using, you know, an acrylic block. So Java Great Birthday, how cute is that? I love it. There we go. Lots of people that love to drink coffee. So, you know, I don't. I'm a tea drinker. But funny enough, I make a lot of coffee cards. Go figure. I don't know. Anyway, and I'm going to use a tiny little heart from that fancy heart die. And I'm just going to add that to the inside of my card. Just because. Just to make it look a little bit more fancy. So you need those fancy heart dies, because I don't know about you, but I use them all the time. They're awesome. And they're great, like for cutting little hearts in different sizes to embellish your cards. You just can't go wrong. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog and the Jaded Blossom store and get inspired and maybe get some of these goodies in your hot little hands. And we will see you soon in my next video. I love that you stopped by and spend time with me. Bye, everyone.